Clarion Books and Harper Audio present Let's Get Together by Brandy Colbert, performed by Angel Pean and Tyla Collier.
For Tina, a gruesome twosome we will be. Liberty. 10. Liberty Perry had tallied it up. Today, her first day of 6th grade would be her 10th first day at a new school. She'd woken up a whole hour early, so she had plenty of time to think about it. The sky outside was just starting to lighten, and even the birds weren't awake yet. Normally, she tried to fall back asleep when this happened, but this morning she wasn't all that tired. Maybe because ever since she'd been living with her new foster mom, Joey, she was sleeping a bit better than usual. The first night she'd arrived 3 months ago, she'd fallen asleep moments after she pulled the covers up to her chin. At some of the foster homes she'd been in before now, she was kept awake by all sorts of things: loud televisions, people arguing, another kid snoring in the bunk bed below her. At others, she couldn't sleep because she was too scared to shut her eyes. Being able to sleep easily was one of her favorite things about living at Joey's, along with the way her house always smelled like lavender and eucalyptus, and how on Friday nights they ordered in a ton of sushi and streamed a classic movie that was on Joey's list of films everyone should see. Liberty got up to go to the bathroom, and when she came back out, pulling the door closed behind her, she almost stumbled over Joey's cat, Hansberry, who was named for one of Joey's favorite playwrights. She bent to slide a hand over his head. "It's early," she whispered. Hansberry looked up at her with his big green eyes and meowed. "What are you doing up?" she asked, even though she already knew he didn't keep regular hours. He wasn't the first cat she'd lived with, and Joey grumbled often about how she'd wake to find Hansberry sitting on her chest before sunrise, or how she had to kick him out of her room because he'd insist on playing with his squeaky mouse toy in the middle of the night, inches away from her bed. He was always hungry, and this morning was no exception. Liberty tried to get around him and back to her room, but he trotted ahead of her, swirling between her legs in the doorway. And once she did manage to disentangle herself and close the door, he just sat out there, meowing pitifully. She sighed at his pathetic pleas, cracking the door to look down at him. Hansberry purred. "You are the worst," Liberty said, but she couldn't help smiling. He was undeniably cute, with his sleek gray coat, long whiskers, and the tiny patch of white speckled on his chest. He turned and led the way to the kitchen, as if she lived to serve him. Even though it was 5:30 in the morning and she couldn't believe she was being bossed around by a cat, Liberty had to admit it made her feel like she belonged. If Hansberry was treating her like a member of the household, maybe that meant she was supposed to be here. She found an open can of wet food in the refrigerator, scooped the rest of it into Hansberry's food bowl, and filled the bowl beside it with fresh water. Then she crept out to the back deck, which was her favorite part of Joey's house. The deck was covered, with potted plants hanging from the ceiling and nestled into corners. A big, comfy outdoor couch sat between 2 large chairs with cushions, and the whole thing overlooked the fenced-in backyard where Joey kept a small garden that grew herbs, tomatoes, and strawberries. Liberty curled up on the couch, wrapped herself in the heavy blanket draped over the side, and prepared to watch the sunrise. She wasn't exactly sure when the sun was supposed to come up, but it must be soon. The birds were starting to chirp, and the inkiness was fading from the sky bit by bit. Something about this felt right. Being up with the sun before her first day of 6th grade, greeting the new day in her newish home before she went to her brand new school. She woke to Joey gently shaking her shoulder, standing above her with a coffee mug in hand.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?